The people who run Washington love war. It makes them feel important. It makes their friends in the defense industry rich. And for years, they told you a war with Iran was inevitable. They said we had no choice. They said it was the only way to keep America safe. But they were wrong. One of the most important stories of the last administration is the story of the war that never happened. The United States stared down one of the most dangerous regimes on the planet, a regime that chants death to America in its streets, and did so without getting bogged down in another pointless, endless conflict in the Middle East. It's a remarkable achievement, and one worth understanding. Instead of sending your sons and daughters to fight and die in the mountains of Iran, the Trump administration took a different path. It was a path of strength, but not of reckless abandon. It was a path of pressure, not of invasion. The strategy was clear, and it was simple. It used three powerful tools that did not involve a full-scale ground war: sanctions, targeted strikes, and alliances. First, crippling economic sanctions. Second, a precise, targeted strike when necessary. Third, rebuilding and strengthening alliances in the region. The foreign policy establishment mocked it, calling it reckless and unsophisticated because it didn't mean grand conferences or massive deployments. Let's start with the most important point, the one that gets lost in all the hysterical media coverage. The United States did not go to war with Iran. It's a simple statement, but a powerful one. For all the breathless predictions of World War III, it never happened. This wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate choice. The choice was to use pressure and targeted action as an alternative to all-out war. A full war would have meant thousands of American lives lost, trillions spent, and a destabilized region. Avoiding that outcome was the primary victory. It was the foundational success upon which everything else was built. Too often, war is the first option. This policy kept American families first. Protecting our nation does not always require invading another one. The pressure campaign was designed to avoid a forever war. When Iran's proxies attacked, the response was measured and clear, not a knee-jerk escalation. It required discipline, ignoring the drumbeat for war from the usual suspects. They wanted a war with Iran. They were denied one. That should be celebrated. So ask a simple question. Did it lead to a major war? The answer is no. That is the starting point for any honest conversation. The first and most powerful tool in this strategy was economic sanctions, maximum pressure. The logic: the Iranian regime is a corrupt cartel that funds a global terror network with oil money. To stop the terror, stop the money. Systematically dismantle Iran's ability to sell oil. Do business with the United States or with Iran. You cannot do both. They targeted Iran's central bank and cut it off from the global financial system. Shipping, construction, senior officials, financial quarantine around the regime. The effects were immediate. Oil exports plummeted, the rial fell, revenues dried up. This wasn't about punishing the people, though they felt it. It was about bankrupting the ruling class. Iran doesn't fight alone. It pays proxies: Hezbollah, Hamas, Shia militias in Iraq and Syria. For years, steady flows of cash, arms, and training fueled their arsenals and attacks. When the money shrank, the pipeline dried up. It's simple accounting. Reports showed Hezbollah seeking donations. Iraqi militias complained of salary cuts. Less proxy funding meant safer American troops and more secure allies. A terror network without cash is a car without gasoline. It can't go anywhere. This financial warfare delivered tangible security gains. The second major action was the targeted strike that killed General Qasem Soleimani. Media cried reckless act of war, but who was he? He led the Quds Force, responsible for Iran's foreign terrorist operations. Put simply, he was the world's #1 terrorist. He spread EFPs, lethal roadside bombs that pierced U.S. armor, maiming and killing Americans. The Pentagon ties him to at least 600 U.S. service member deaths. Taking him off the battlefield was not aggression, it was justice. According to the administration, the strike stopped an imminent attack on diplomats and soldiers. He had just arrived to coordinate with proxies for the next wave. The choice: wait for more American deaths or act decisively. The president chose to act. A precise surgical strike eliminated a high-value target, the regime's terror hub. You do not assassinate an enemy combatant in a combat zone. This was a legitimate military action. Message to Tehran: if you target Americans, we will target those responsible, no matter how high. It shattered their sense of immunity and rewrote the rules of engagement. The immediate result of the strike: restoration of American deterrence. For years, proxies believed attacks brought only stern letters. That assumption broke in one night. There is a red line. Leaders of the terror network were no longer safe. Iran fired missiles at U.S. bases, a face-saving but ineffective response, and then the large-scale orchestration subsided. Pressure on U.S. forces eased. Enemy command and control was disrupted. The third pillar: build a practical coalition with nations in Iran's shadow: Israel, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain. Unprecedented cooperation led to the Abraham Accords, normalization with Israel, and a new strategic map. Together, they advanced intelligence sharing, missile defense, and maritime security in the Gulf. When tankers were attacked, this coalition protected vital shipping lanes. This approach empowered allies to take greater responsibility, with U.S. backing. For Israel, Iran's threats are constant. Maximum pressure and unwavering support strengthened its hand. In the Gulf, U.S. support improved missile defense against Houthi missiles and drones. This shield helped protect civilians and critical energy infrastructure. A united regional bloc raises the costs of aggression: collective defense in action. No policy is without costs and risks. It would be dishonest to pretend otherwise. Sanctions aimed at the regime also hurt ordinary people. Prices rise, medicine can be scarce. Pressure risks escalation. The Soleimani strike was a calculated risk. After the US left the nuclear deal, Iran enriched at higher levels, moving closer to capability. A serious development. But the balance of alternatives matters. Appeasement delivered cash that fueled malign activity. Full invasion was unthinkable. The pressure campaign was the path between. Accept risk to re-establish deterrence and avoid larger war later. Judge it by the right standard. If the goal is to protect the United States, its citizens, and its interests without another catastrophic war, the policy was a success. 3 pillars: sanctions, targeted force, allied unity, delivered measurable results. Money choked off, proxies weakened, American soldiers safer. Removing Soleimani restored deterrence. Killing Americans would carry real consequences. A regional coalition now stands against Iranian aggression. Tangible stability without invasion. No army sent to Tehran. No bloody quagmire. Strong, but restrained. Willing to use force. Reluctant to go to war.